What up, dog? Come on in if you gonna come on in. Always remember to never be afraid to dream. Want to do a little bit of commentary tonight. Also with some poetry, of course. You know I gotta get into a couple of poems. It's only right. Gotta put something on y'all mental. So as you come on in, be sure to hit that subscribe button, the like button, the share button. Let somebody know you tuned in to Raptalk. Y'all need to stop remaking these classics. Leave the classics alone. They're classics for a reason, right? Everything don't need to be tampered with and played with. Everything don't need to be redone. Like I said, if it's a classic for a reason, we need to keep it that way. Let me see if I can set something up real quick. I wanted to try to see if I could put a message up here, but I can't do that, so I need to leave that alone. Let me quit messing with stuff. Get back to the video. Look at this shit. I didn't show the damn plants. I'll get off of that. My fault. Hold on, bear with me, y'all. I'm trying to get something off my screen and I don't even know how to do it. I'm trying to get rid of something now. I don't know if y'all probably don't see it. It's probably gonna go away. But anyway, I just want to talk about leaving classics alone. Because what I did as a grown man, damn, I'm trying to get rid of something, but damn, something on my screen, I'm sorry. Damn, let's get off this shit. I don't want to go out and have to come back in. That'd be stupid. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. Oh, but indeed, check this out. Look, let's get into it. First of all, I want to thank you for tuning in. Especially all my new subscribers. Y'all catch these videos, be sure to like them, share them. That's if you're feeling them. That's if you're feeling the videos. Hit that like button, subscribe, flick it to somebody else, share it. Share the video to make the channel grow. But let's get into it. I came on here live. Of course, I'm going to do some poems in between my commentary. But I wanted to talk about redoing classics. I had the opportunity to check out that new movie, House Party. And they gave it the straight title and everything. They didn't put nothing else on it, of course. So, of course, off top, we got the actual title as the actual old movie. I mean, which most of us, people who grew up on the original House Party with Kid and Play, we basically, once we saw the previews of this movie, we pretty much in our mental knew where they was going with the movie and what they was doing and going after, For the people that haven't seen the first House Party, It's definitely a classic. I mean, it's a cult classic. It just, it's about throwing a big party. It's a raw movie. If you haven't seen it, go research it. But let's just get into this house party. Off top, I say if you over 35, I'll just say 35. If you over 35, it depends on where you at in your mental and in your psyche, your entertainment your entertainment take in. I'm gonna start using that word too, that phrase too, your entertainment take in. This movie is not for you. This movie is not for us. I mean, I went to go see it. I mean, the shit was just it was hot trash. I mean, it is what it is. I gotta balance it out. I'm gonna be fair though in this whole review. I'm gonna be fair in it because you know why? Because going in, I already knew to myself like, okay, this movie is probably not for me. I mean, you got to remember, it's a whole new generation of kids and of people. And when I say kids, I mean it's just a younger generation of people that's just watching entertainment and it's for them. I mean, like on a broad scale, I mean a big scale, as far as just the people that's going out spending money and doing all the things that we used to do when we was at our prime in a certain age of life. So you have to keep remembering that when you be entertained and when you go out and you look for entertainment, because you have to understand that everything is not for you. It's not for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with not being to know certain movies or certain songs. I mean, it's okay. I mean, in our generation, we have to understand that. We have to understand that it's okay not to know the latest song. It's okay not to know the latest dance or the latest fashion because our bracket of fashion and entertainment is going to be different from someone. It should. Well, I ain't gonna say it always going to, but it should be different of someone that's of an age of 18 to 25. So when you approaching these things, or when you see it just on a broad scale across your screen, I mean, just understand that it's not always for you. It's not always for us. The movie was, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be fair. I'm trying my best to be fair and balanced because I gotta remember I hated when people did it to our generation when we was listening to NWA or when we was watching certain movies and people thought it was garbage or trash, but at the same time they knew it wasn't for them. So that's kind of a good thing also like I say, when you know that something ain't for you. Just walk away from it. So this movie, the whole setup was of a nature as if, some kids had a couple, I keep saying kids, with some young men, they had jobs. I ain't gonna give away the whole movie, but you pretty much know it had to be a big party. But he had to raise some money. One had to raise some money for his daughter. They was working odds and ends at a job, a dead end job. But they was cleaning up mansions. So one particular mansion that they was working in, they found out they was about to be fired from the job. They found out it was LeBron's place. So they party promoters, they come up with this big idea of just, okay, since we already in here working, let's just throw a party in this mansion. They got a hold to his iPad with all his contacts and everything. So they just called themselves just throwing this big old party just to raise money and have some fun. So during the whole deal, they kind of revert back to some of the stuff that's in the original House Party with the kid to play. Like if you remember in the first House Party, you had full force in there. So they had a couple of bullies in there. It was three guys who was bullies in the movie. Of course, they had the females that, the interests of friends that was in their age bracket. They even had a dance off, like in the classic. They had a dance off in there. So it was a couple of things which made it revert back to the old. So for research purposes, of all of us that's in our age bracket who watched the movie, we was reverting back to the old, of course, just seeing certain things. Looking like, oh, okay, I see where they got that from. And it was reverting into the new, of course, by being a movie for younger people. They had to throw in the things of Instagram, having your Instagram likes up and all that stuff. Everything that all the youngers is forced with now. So they put all that in the movie. And there was some other things they put in the movie too also. I don't know whether you agree with a lot of that stuff or not. I don't even know if I want to use the word on my channel. They even put that whole Illuminati, all that stuff all in the movie, which kind of threw me for a loop. And I'm looking like, oh my, they blatantly put it in your face and was talking about it. So I don't know if that was gonna give some people some thrill. They actually was putting stuff. They was putting it in your face like, here, you want to make a joke about it. Y'all talk about this stuff so much. Here, we got this Illuminati stuff. They even had I guess a couple of videos that's floating around right now. Some people talking about some of the signs and all the different stuff. Like, I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole on my video, but a lot of them symbols and stuff that they were talking about, that stuff was in this movie. If you really watch this movie and pay attention. Even though they was making fun of the Illuminati, blah, 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 it still was right there in your face. If you look around if you look around the screen or you look on the floor, if you want to catch the little hint. You look on the floor, you look at all that stuff. A lot of that stuff was actually shown in the movie. So, it is what it is. You can check it out, but it's not for me. If you've grown, it's not for you. Just skip it. But now if you're a parent and you want to take your youngest to see it, that's kind of want to show them something that you kind of grew up on, if they're of age to see it, like if you got some 17 and 18 year olds, that'd be kind of cool just to, because it wasn't too much sex and stuff or the drugs. It wasn't too much of that in there to where it's like, plus the 17 and 18 year old, they know about all that stuff anyway, so it ain't too much for them. It ain't raw like that to where you like, cringe worthy. But my initial message in this video that I want to stress, even though for that review of House Party, I just want to say why we can't just leave the classics alone. Just stop it. If it's a classic movie, if it's a classic, even the classic songs, it's so much stuff they want to do. They want to do reboots. Where's the originality? How can we get to the point to where people, hire some writers? Look, I got notebooks, shit I write. It's other people that write. It's so much more out here that there's so many ideas that could be put towards to the front, and it just seemed like so many people it seemed like these producers and so many people just don't want to just take a chance with just the newness. What are you scared of? It's like Hollywood just want to play it so safe and just keep redoing everything that we grew up on or heard about. It's kind of like sampling, if you really think about it. It's like when someone sample music. It's like, and don't get me wrong, hip hop did that shit to a T. We really cheated. If you really think about it, hip hop cheated so much, but we just got away with it and we was growing up with it. But a lot of these rappers and producers, they were doing nothing but cheat. They were doing nothing but taking hits. If you got a hit already and you sampling the hit, how can it I mean, you halfway there already. How can it not be a hit again? Well, it should be a hit again, at least to some degree. I mean, Diddy had the formula. A lot of people had the formula. A lot of producers, and it's like that's what they doing now with these movies and TV shows, just regurgitating the same ideas over and over, the same titles, because they want us to see the title and be like, okay, damn, okay, that's associated with such and such. Let's do this show over. Like, damn, they want to do Good Times over. They want to do Jefferson's over. They want to make a stage play. We just did House Party. They did Coming to America over. That shit was a classic. Don't leave that shit alone. Don't. Man, and I don't know how y'all feel about that Coming to America. It basically was. Now I will give that Coming to America a little bit of credit, because I kind of do like the way they tied in the whole story. That was pretty crafty, especially for it being so many years later, for them just to touch it again like that. But as far as our generation, a lot of us forgot about that movie, so it wasn't like it damn sure wasn't like the first one, of course. So it's like with a lot of these movies and things, just leave them alone. I mean, a classic is a classic. It's like don't touch it. Why keep playing with it? It's like y'all see it just sitting over there, just minding its own business. It's like it ain't no reason you fuck with it and touch it. It's like it is over there in class all by its own. But y'all still want to touch it and just be like, okay, well, let's do something with it. Let's just put this in it. Let's put this Instagram person with all these followers in it, and maybe they'll drive a whole audience to go see it. And that's what I was looking at too when I was watching the movie. I just was seeing so many faces, so many social media faces and stuff like that in it. So I'm like, okay, we see what they doing. It's like, why is entertainment just getting like that? I mean, it's like they want to just. Why do so many people just think that because the followers is there, their results gonna be there? I mean, seriously, why do we think that? Why do you think just because somebody can drive followers to their Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, Snap, or whatever the hottest social media thing is? Why do you think just because they drive people there that they're gonna drive people over here to this movie or to this stage, this show, to this song? I mean, just because this person on a reality TV show, what makes you think that they can drop an album and everybody's gonna buy the album because they're on a TV show? I mean, what some of you gotta understand, half the people that be on a lot of these, that have these followers and all that, a lot of people just sitting over there just waiting for them to explode. It don't always just be about the talent. They just want to see they just waiting for the bullshit to happen. You know, and I ain't searching for the negative or nothing like that, but all I'm just saying is all that stuff just don't translate over to money all the time just because you got some followers. I can have some followers over here, and look how many people just watching this video right now at this very second. I mean, some people can catch it later or catch you in whenever, but just because I have, okay, like right now I'm at 1,000 and some followers. I'm at 1,080 followers. That don't mean every video that I drop gotta be guaranteed 1,000 views. It might be a couple watch this, it might be a couple watch that one, it might be a couple pop in here, it might be, you know, I mean, it is what it is. So if this person got 400,000 followers, just throw them in the movie, just throw them here, throw them there. I mean, I guess it's a gamble though, because if you do about 50 of those people, you should. So I am saying the math right now that I'm looking at it. If you got 50 people with all them 400,000 followers, somebody should just come in. Even if people disappointed, you at least got that couple dollars. But that's what I'm trying to translate this back to. We getting to a point to where entertainment is so much bullshit out here, and because people is looking at those numbers, and people is thinking that that's going to generate us. That's all they want. They want the quick fix. So it's like, okay, if you got all these followers, I'm gonna book you for this show. But what they really don't understand is when word of mouth get out, it's like this movie, this house party movie, this movie I'm talking about. Once the word of mouth get out that the movie ain't shit, I mean, then what? I mean, I'm a victim. They got my money, pretty much. That's what they wanted. But they gonna be able to make a part 2? Because the word get out is bullshit. Ain't gonna be no part 2. Just like when they was about to start doing the not remakes, but the biopic. I kind of saw it about to happen. Because it was with the success of the NWA movie. You saw how big that NWA movie was. That's how the Tupac movie came. I mean, pay attention. That NWA movie was just so big. They like, okay, shit, where the next rapper at? Okay, well, let's do somebody else movie. They like, shit, if we made all this money off NWA, I know if we go get one of the greatest rappers, well, not alive, we get one of the greatest rappers of all time, his movie gotta be just as big as NWA. But what happened? Shit tanked. I mean, which the movie was kind of all right with me. It went the best, but it went the worst to me. But it definitely didn't do what people thought it was going to do, and the reviews went skyrocketing and the thumbs up when just running around everywhere. So what happened? So once that movie didn't do what it do, they stopped that shit. That next summer, it wouldn't know come on where the next rap movie at, because the Tupac movie didn't work. They backed away from all that shit and was like, oh, okay, well, we off of that. Y'all gonna do y'all straight to videos or whatever. Y'all do y'all. We'll probably play some money for a documentary or something here and there, but as far as that big cinematic budget like we did with the NWA and the Tupac, no, we ain't about to do all that. We ain't spending that no more. I mean, look at the Whitney Houston movie that they just made. Y'all saw that? I ain't even see it. Y'all heard anything else about it after the week? I mean, I ain't heard nothing about it. Matter of fact, when I looked on the list to get the tickets to go see this house party movie, it wasn't showing up, but I ain't gonna say one theater, but you know how they have a whole bunch of like 4:30, 5:30, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and have a whole rundown of how many times they showing it. Man, I only saw that shit on that one time. I only saw like it was like a 4:45 or something like early in the day, or 1:45 for that Whitney Houston movie. Ain't nobody gonna see that. I think they make their money off that. But I mean, respect to her and her legacy. That don't take nothing away from her as a person and her legacy. But when people invest in stuff like this, it's like we heard the stories. So it's kind of like two situations going on at the same time if you really dissect it and think about it. I mean, let's break it down. Shit, I got time. Let's think about it. You got one generation. Matter of fact, I was sitting up talking to somebody about this. We was kind of talking about how I was talking to her about like how movies, how like say certain artists that's not from this time still be talked about, or people still make movies about them, and why do they do it? And my side of the conversation, I don't want to say debate, but it could go either way. So I would just bringing up stuff like, okay, it's for research purpose, because I was just talking about like how every movie that's made today It's not always for us. That was my point. Okay, like with the NWA movie, like for instance, I mean, you can't please everybody that was there. I mean, the people that grew up with it, that grew up around it, and was there. Of course, there's certain things that we gonna see when we watch the movie and be like, nah, that ain't happening, or blah, that ain't this, like that ain't that, like such and such, like. I mean, especially like even some of them, like the people from LA or the people who was really extensions of the group NWA. Like there was a lot of discrepancies going on of what should have been in the movie, what should have not. But my thing is, we have to understand that when they make these movies, they gotta put the big valid points in the movie, because it could be somebody 30, 40 years from now that watch that movie and be like, okay, damn, I always heard about Tupac. Always heard about NWA. Always heard about Whitney Houston and such, all these different people. Like, I want to hear the story, or I wouldn't mind seeing it. Like the same way we watched Dr. King movie for how many years it come on. Matter of fact, his birthday is today. It was celebrated tomorrow. Well, today the 15th. So I think I got that right. Well, I definitely know Monday is the holiday. We got that shit off, you know. Shout out to Stevie Wonder for making that happen too. Damn, let me get back to where I was at. I'm sliding all over the place. A lot of people don't know that too. The reason y'all do got that off day, that Monday off, is mostly by Stevie Wonder. That's a whole nother show and topic, how they put that whole thing together to make that a national holiday. But anyway, let me get back to what I was talking about. Like I said in the conversation we was having, I was talking about how a lot of these movies and stuff that's made, they're not for us. Even with the house party, like I said earlier, that's not for us. But if I'm a person that did see part one and saw the original house party, I'm gonna look at it like, okay, y'all looking at this, but that's for y'all, this ain't for me. So her point of the conversation was like, who wanna see Whitney Houston? Who care about Whitney Houston? Blah, blah, blah. And my kids, I'm like, you never know, your kids might want to research Whitney Houston. Whether you played Whitney Houston in your house, if you did, it's going to trickle down to your kid. It's like if it was a Marvin Gaye movie, or they made certain movies about, like when they did, like I was telling her, like when they did the Jamie Foxx movie and all that. I mean, there's certain younger people who did want to watch it and some probably didn't. But if somebody do want to research Ray Charles, they can go and look at that movie. And even though they did have all the bullshit in there about the drugs and the stuff like that, peace and power. Kyra knows 144, what up though? Appreciate you. Even though they did have the drugs and all the bullshit in the movie, it still was something to be seen. So basically the whole deal of the conversation was, I see how a lot of things from the past can be regurgitated to be seen, because it's not just for us, it can be for other people who don't know the story, who just want to see it. I mean, like, look, like you see what they say 50 about to do. He about to bring the whole Eminem 8 Mile back. And that kind of goes back to my thing too. Like when you got clashes, I don't want to doubt 50, but I don't know about this one though. I mean, he probably can pull it off, and I think it's definitely be good for the D. I mean, I'm from Detroit, so it's gonna bring more light and shine to the city one way or another. So I guess I'm kind of biased about it to support it. But he dipping off into that, and he want to make a series out of 8 Mile. That goes back to the conversation I was talking to her about. I was like, it's like our kids, some of them know about Eminem, but what about 8 Mile and the movie and the battle rap and all that stuff? Like to Eminem, these kids probably don't care about Eminem, but if 50 touch it and make a TV show out of it and it get popular, then they're gonna go research Eminem. Then the movie 8 Mile is gonna start back selling numbers again. It's gonna go get rented again. It's gonna start back being showed on certain channels again, getting licensed. So we have all this entertainment that just, I don't want to say get regurgitated, but there's certain ways to touch it when you touch a certain classic. I mean, more power to 50. Of course, he's gonna put a money machine behind it. So it's gonna do what it's gonna do, but you're gonna have to be creative when you put it together. I mean, when you had classics like that, I mean, you touching it for purposes of you got to know which audience it is going to be for. So for instance, when 50 do, I keep saying 50. It's kind of crazy too how we always, even though he's associated, he's the executive producer. It's so many people that deserve credit around 50, and that's what the executive producer is. They're the person that put people together, and he's the one that put all the people together. But it's somebody else writing that shit. He's not sitting there writing out every show, every scene, putting every outfit together, putting every this together, picking all the locations. He's not doing all. He might oversee some of that stuff, or he might put his 1-2 on it when they have meetings and stuff. But there's a lot of other people that deserve credit, especially with the writing. So, because he's not doing all that all day. I'm not taking nothing from him. But that's for other people to get their credit too. And I don't know all their names and all that. But a production is a production. But of course, he's the front face and a selling point. So of course, his name going to be associated with it. So I guess that's why I keep bringing his name up. But when that team put together that TV show, they're going to have to make some decisions. You're going to have to make decisions like, okay, who is this show for? Okay, let's have this meeting. Who's going to be the core audience for this show? Like we already touched the battle rap. We're going to be touching the whole come up of Eminem. So it's just going to be to reintroduce everything to a whole new audience and try to get younger people in to watch it today. Or is we going to just piggyback off of the movie and just keep going this way and kind of regurgitate some of the stuff that made the movie so popular, which is damn near what? Okay, this 2023. I think 8 Mile came out in what, the year 2000, something like that, somewhere around that time. So that's about 20. It's over 20 years ago. The movie came out over 20 years ago. So if they bring that 8 Mile back, which is over 20 years ago, that's you know how much of a big gap that is of people who don't even just know the story, and not to mention Eminem is just a ghost himself. He dip in and dip out whenever he want to with music, and when he do music, it ain't for none of these kids. He's just so popular that the kids will see him, but they not rushing off to see Eminem like that or to listen to him. And I think he pretty much know that too. So when he come back out, he dipping in and dipping out just for his core fans, just because he love the game. So, but when they do bring the show back or make the series out of 8 Mile, I mean, it's questions to be asked. I mean, it's an audience to search. It's decisions got to be made. It's like, who is it for? Like I say, you got a whole nother crowd of people who just, some know the story and some don't. So piggyback, going back to the movie House Party. This is thumbs down for me, but I respect it. Like I say, I don't know if this is the millennials or the Gen X, Gen Z, whatever y'all calling it. Whatever the group is now that's under 20, they can have some fun with it. But the movie is not for us. If you're a grown adult, if you, like I say, if you over 35-ish, I say, the movie ain't for you. I wouldn't even pick it up, but if you want to just check something out, you got a couple extra dollars, want to spend some time, check out a movie, you can work it, but just leave the classics alone. I mean, can we just do that? Can we just get some new material out here for people to just put out there? I mean, there's so many writers out there, there's so many ideas, there's so many different avenues one can take. The only shit I'm really seeing new, it's like imagination with stuff like Marvel. I guess that's why Marvel and stuff's so big, because even though they hold on to old titles, and most of the Marvel movies, they already got a cult cult following anyway, like Spider-Man, Superman, whoever. I mean, it's one thing when you have classic material like that and you associate it with something, but you still just take it somewhere else. I think that's why Marvel is doing so good, because they still like they jump sci-fi with it, but they still hold on to their core the roots. But it still be new ideas at least. I mean, they might dip back to something we grew up to on the cartoon or something they had on the TV shows when we was growing up. Especially if you're a real follower of a lot of them movies. They give you a lot of hints and throw a lot of stuff in there to keep you inclined with your childhood, which is cool. But as far as just straight up just taking and ripping a old classic and calling yourself making it new again with just a couple of Instagram and Facebook and Twitter faces and people just to get seats in the theater. Ah, man. I don't agree. But they're chasing that dollar. That's what they're doing, right? I mean, we live in a world where they want the money first. I mean, they said they deal with all that later. But since y'all want to go back so much, I know I've been talking. I'm gonna get to one poem apiece. Since y'all want to go back, since we all want to go back so much, I got this piece I'm gonna do called '80s Baby. I'm gonna take y'all back. Let's go back for a minute. Let me fade this out real quick. Listen to me. Listen to me. Remember Saturday mornings when we used to watch cartoons? Eating cereal, arguing over the channels. My favorite was Looney Tunes. Schoolhouse Rock. We stopped so mama wouldn't complain. 12 at noon, it's a family meeting as we gather around the TV to watch Soul Train. Learn the latest moves. Then it's time to slide. Lotion up my legs, pull up my socks, I hear my friends outside. Neighborhood crush. Blush as she played double dutch. Circle around the block one more time on our bikes, hope they notice to talk to us. Or stand there froze. You see, pose like I'm cool as a must. Young without no money, but we still yelled out ho for the ice cream truck. Friends together. You see, we walk to the park in bunches. Getting cussed out by our old ladies because we walking on their grass with our summertime free lunches. Walk past the drinks. Bobbing and weaving through the reefer. Hoping my family don't ask me to dance again because they sitting on the porch with the house stereo speaker. Loving my childhood. But why do we want to be grown? A whole lifetime can happen in one day in the ghetto before the street lights came on. A Saturday I conquered. A Saturday I feared. Life as the 80s, baby. These kids have no idea. Raptalk. 80s, baby. That's that piece. Take y'all back one time to the 80s. Leave the classics alone, man. That's the message for the day. Y'all see how they regurgitate a house party, garbage, coming to America, hot trash. What else? They're gonna keep doing it over and over. It's like they're gonna keep doing it for a new generation. I mean, on one hand, we want to pass it down, but we can just pass down the classic, the original. Hip hop already did it too. I ain't giving y'all no pass. Well, I don't give us no pass. I'm part of hip hop too. I'm part of the culture. we was chopping and taking everything, which we should have left a lot of classics alone too. There's a lot of songs that got sampled and got redone that should have never been touched. I might do a show about that one day, like name a song that should have never been sampled, or name a classic song that should never be sampled, something like that. I might do something like that. I might come on live and do something like that. I got a lot of ideas just for Raptalk, period. I mean, just the whole ordeal. But that's the message for today. I only did one poem. That's crazy. I was talking so much shit about that movie, but it is what it is. But definitely stay tuned. Be sure to get the merchandise. If you want to donate to the channel, my endeavors, you can Cash App it, $Raptalk. Or you can donate through YouTube, buy a sticker, stuff like that. There's so many different ways to donate. Or just share the video. Like I say, go on the zip and tell a friend and tell a friend. Text this video to somebody. I appreciate y'all. I'm with y'all on the back end. Leave classics alone. Stop remaking classics. Get some original material out there. Let's do that. Let's cultivate. There's so many people out here with ideas. Let's get some new shit out there, man. It is what it is. Raptalk.